All right, welcome in everybody. Me and Yash here, back to talk some ball. Interesting
You're
Sunday yesterday. A bunch of kind of blowouts, to be honest. Not the most entertaining football to watch. Um, some
get a
fun
good kicker,
games.
bro. That's the takeaway, bro. Defense
The
and kickers win championships. That's all I know.
biggest takeaway um, across all fantasy football for me personally is this right here. I'm gonna show this. Had to take down Yosh.
All right.
You know how it is. 154 points. Still got Kelsey going to 149. Shout out Chris Boswell for the 23 piece. We'll take it. Taking down the undefeated team.
hmm
Oh,
Enjoy it while it
I didn't
lasts.
even realize I wasn't sharing it. But this is what our box score looked like. We had some haters in the chat uh, saying Yosh by 40 had to step up. The old heads had to step
Step
up.
up. They took it
Uh,
personal, They didn't like all the yap coming from the traded players. JSN was running his mouth. Wandale running his mouth. He didn't like it.
yeah, it was
Thank
a
God
revenge
Aaron
game for
Rodgers
the
got that
boys.
second TD.
What up, Mando? Good to see you. Yeah. Rodgers definitely, the pass rush for Green Bay was a lot better than I was expecting them to be. And just overall, Green Bay's defense is pretty good. But we'll get into that when we're talking about all the games individually. But I just wanted to show that real quick.
hmm
But we're just going to skim through all the games from yesterday, kind of talk about just any general takeaways we have, answer all questions in the chat to people that are popping in here. So make sure to fire off your questions for next week, rest of the season, etc. And to anyone that gets in here, make sure to sub to the channel if you haven't. Drop a like on the stream. We appreciate it. That being said, let's get right into it. So first off, probably the most surprising result of the weekend was this Dolphins Falcons game.
hmm
Any initial takeaways from this one, Josh?
I've been hearing a lot of talk about Ollie Gordon being him. I'm not really buying into it this week. I think it was just a blowout game. They just got to a point where they just wanted to not get Devon Achane hurt, manage his workload a little bit. Someone who's maybe a good waiver wire pickup if he's on your waivers still, which I doubt, is Malik Washington. People might have dropped him after he was just underperforming the past like 3 weeks. So
For sure. Biggest takeaway for this one for me was what the hell with Bijan Robinson, man? Like, just this seemed like it was such a smash spot for him, and just the entire Falcons offense in general was just awful today. Um, and I saw a thing saying that the two most embarrassing losses of the year have both been by the Falcons, which I think is true. I mean, of course, a couple weeks ago they got blown out by the Panthers, also at home, and then they get blown out by the Dolphins at home again.
mm,
Kirk Cousins looked pretty rough. Definitely
he
wasn't.
looked terrible, bro.
Yeah, it was not an impressive performance from him. Bijan was inefficient on the ground, which is something that we're not used to saying about Bijan. That's for sure. Kyle Pitts, you did call this one. Kyle Pitts had a good game. 9 receptions on 9 targets, very efficient, 60 yards, long of 24. On the Dolphins side, Waddle gets there with the long touchdown. Achane didn't really do anything super crazy, but just kind of did standard Achane stuff. Got there for fantasy. Felt good if you started him. Tua throws 4 touchdowns through the air. I doubt anyone was starting him this week against a great pass defense in the Falcons, but that pass defense was not great this Sunday. No major takeaways from like the Falcon side of things. Like I think rankings wise, I'm not really doing much after this game. It's more just kind of a surprising result, but I'm not taking this as like Bijan, like we need to lower him or anything like that. Like I think it was just kind of a fluky, weird game script. By the way, Bijan, this is only the 4th game in his career where he scored less than 10 fantasy points, which is just kind of a wild stat.
That is a wild
Um,
stat.
so don't think we can expect a game like this out of Bijan very often. think that's it for this game, unless you have anything else.
Yeah, we can just move on to the Jets Bengals.
Yeah. So
I mean, biggest
We're gonna
takeaway from the Jets is that Brees Hall is him, bro. Brees Hall is just him. I mean, also Bengals soft run defense, but
yeah, Brees Hall had a great day. He looked good, looked fast, threw a touchdown, which was funny. I thought Justin Fields actually played pretty well. As much flack as we've given Justin Fields in the past, like I thought he played well. The Bengals aren't the strongest defense, but he didn't take any sacks, which is great to see from Fields. Didn't have any picks, didn't turn the ball over, and the Jets won the game. Malpractice by the Bengals defense, letting them even stay in this game. But gotta say, encouraging to see that performance from Fields. His back was kind of against the wall, fighting for his job, fighting for his reputation. He showed up. I think this kind of bought him some more starts for the rest of the season. Brees Hall got there, like we said, but soft defense. So I don't know. Are you taking this game and adjusting Brees in your rankings, or you're kind of keeping him in the same spot? What's
I
kind
think
of
I already had Brees kind of high compared to you two. I think you guys dropped him a little farther down your rankings than I did. So I still feel comfortable with him. Let me see where I have him in my rankings really quick. Isaiah Davis is just an interesting guy while I'm looking at this stuff. I think his receiving usage is really encouraging. Wasn't too efficient on the ground aside from that 50-yard break off he had. But yeah, I had Brees Hall in C tier with like Saquon, ETN, Genty, Dobbins, Henry, and DeAndre Swift's chilling in there. But I think I would keep him there. Maybe move him up to B where Cam Scatabo was. But I think nothing changes for me. I think it's just encouraging to see that. That's what you expect from Brees Hall. In terms of Justin Fields actually being able to pass the ball this game, I think that's encouraging for Garrett Wilson. I think if you're a competing team, maybe you have a winning record right now, you got some extra bench pieces. Try to buy like mega low on Garrett Wilson, bro. I doubt that team has a good record. Like I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. I wouldn't be opposed to buying Garrett Wilson. I wish he was healthy for this week because I think he could have gotten there. But I think scrolling to Justin Fields in DFS was a smart thing to do. He didn't really have a blow up game in fantasy, only about 20 points. But I mean, Brees Hall throws a touchdown, rushes for 2. That's 3 touchdowns that went through the rest of the offense. Like I think it was good process taking Fields. The points were there in this matchup. The yardage was there.
Brees Hall vultured a passing touchdown.
Yeah, ridiculous. Mason Taylor signing 5 for 34 and a tug for Mason Taylor. The touchdown was cool too because he just absolutely mossed that dude on the Bengals. So that was good to see. Taylor finally getting there, getting in the end zone. And then on the Bengals side of things, 19 targets for Jamar Chase, and then no one else had more than 3.
If you bought Jamar Chase, man, you're happy right now. If you sold him, you're pissed. Like
for sure. I think I might even have to move him up to wide receiver. He might be my wide receiver 1 rest of the season, even over Puka, to be honest.
I think he's easily top 5, and at that point, it's just apples to apples in my eye.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I even put him. I think he's inarguably top 3 for me right now. I think it's him, Puka, and Amon-Ra I feel the best with, and then I feel good about JSN as well. And I'm forgetting who else is in that tier that we have at the top.
I think that might be it.
Might be just those 4 guys. Anyways, CD. Yeah, CD. Yeah. You feel good about those 5 guys. You feel good about Chase. What's nice too is just because of this volume, like he doesn't even need to score a touchdown or break off a long play to get you there, which has kind of been what Jamar Chase has been some years in the past, but super encouraging to see. T. Higgins, only 2 targets, still gets there for fantasy because he catches a deep bomb, but not a great performance from Higgins. As someone who started him against Yosh, I was super hyped when he caught the ball. I was like, let's go. It's going to be a T day. And then he just doesn't get another catch the rest of the game after that touchdown. So I don't like seeing that. I also don't like seeing Andre Yoshivas still being involved in this offense. Like, in what world should Andre Yosivas be out targeting T Higgins? Like that just feels insane to me. Um, I think for the Bengals side of things, like I feel great about starting Jamar Chase. Obviously, T Higgins, I think I'm still throwing him in my lineup as like more like a wide receiver 3 option week to week. Chase Brown had a pretty good day. I know the box score doesn't look anything too crazy. 12 for 73 and a touchdown, and then 3 for 32 and a receiving touchdown. Not the most insane day, but I just thought he looked really good. He was playing well. He looked more like the Chase Brown we saw last season. It is the Jets defense, to be fair. But I think he's kind of showing that we need to be considering him in that like RB2 range. Still don't really feel great about starting him in rough matchups, but I think he's moving back up and you feel better about if you drafted him early like we all did this offseason.
Yeah, I think the talent's been there. I think the situation just hasn't. Joe Flacco has, in fact, weirdly made this offense a lot better, which is strange to say, but that's where we're at.
Yeah. Real life NFL stuff though, rough for them to lose this game. Like really rough. They needed this one for the rest of the season outlook for sure.
Insane.
All right, let's get into the next game. That one was a fun one. Yeah, then we got Browns Pats.
Harold Fannin Jr., baby. Like, I hope you guys picked him up off waivers. I almost want to speculate that it feels like the Browns are going to trade Njoku. Like, if I was this organization, that's what I would do. I mean, Harold Fannin's just being a dog right now,
He
and
looks
you're
so
a
good.
losing team.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer they're gonna keep doing this Dylan Gabriel thing. It's been rough. Like,
do you hear they're asking for a second round pick for Shedeur right now? Like,
really?
yeah, that's what I heard this morning. I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
I think just like this offense is terrible. I mean, I sent a picture to the Discord, bro. None of the receivers are catching passes, bro. Like Jamari Thrash was the receiver one, and that's just the receiver. The people who actually caught the ball were running backs and tight ends. Like that is not a sustainable offense, and it's not even like that's a one game trend. It's been like that. And Quinshawn, shout out to Anthony for telling you guys to sell high on him because efficiency way down against a stingy defense. I
and he's
think
hurt
you're
now.
gonna have
And he's hurt.
yeah. So I hope you guys listen to Ant. I think I was also kind of saying to sell him, but I wasn't as on that as Ant was. So I'll give him his flowers.
Appreciate that. Yeah, it was rough to see as someone who, I mean, I've been kind of on the lower on Quinchon than the rest train for the last couple weeks. But I needed him to come through for me in an eliminator draft that I was sweating, and he just had an awful performance here. 9 carries, 19 yards, super inefficient. 3 receptions, -2 receiving yards on 3 receptions. Just super inefficient. Most of that was just like a blown up screen pass where he lost. I forget I think it might have been like a loss of like 7, a loss of 5, and messed up his stat line. And then he leaves this one early with an injury. It doesn't seem like it's anything too serious. I saw Stefanski said it's like a day-to-day shoulder injury, so I don't know if we're going to see him miss any time. But I believe the Browns do have a bye week next week, so gives him a week to get healthy, and then he should be back after the bye. But yeah, I think like I've been saying about Judkins, I think he's a matchup dependent RB2 right now. Where if he's playing a team with a good run defense that is favored to win by more than a touchdown, like I am hesitant to put him in the lineup. It doesn't feel great. And that's what we saw here. But if you play Miami every week, you're firing them up. On the Patriots side of things, Hendo finally gets involved a little bit. Looks good, super efficient, but then he fumbles on the goal line late in the game, which is just what we don't want to see from Hendo, right? We don't want to see him do anything that's going to make him lose trust. So I don't know. Where are we at on Hendo and just this whole New England offense?
I'm kind of just over it with New England. Like, I think the biggest takeaway from New England is Drake May is elite. Real life and fantasy wise, he's just an elite guy. I mean, he just did it against like a top defense. Got sacked, 5, 6 times, still won the game. Like, that's insane. You look at the receiving, it's kind of just all over the place. Like, we got randomly Matt Collins involved. Kayshon Boutte gets there with like a long 40-yard touchdown. Like
Diggs.
that's like Kayshon Boutte's like game. They're treating Diggs like an old man. Like he's barely even on the field, it feels like. I'll probably have to check the snap count for that, but I'm sure he's probably sitting at like 70% of snaps on the game or something like that. Um, kind of hate that for my Diggs take earlier in the year, but it's just you have to accept the fact he's an old man and they're treating him like one. And I don't think you feel great about starting Matt, Kayshon Boutte, or Douglas any week. So I wouldn't get too hyped about them.
Yeah.
Mando, real quick. I think Debo might smash tonight. That's kind of tough, dog. Like, but hey, let me throw down like a $2 bet on Debo. He'll drop like 2 points tonight. I got you.
Yeah, we'll get to this game later, but I do think this game could be sneaky good for fantasy. The Vegas total has this at 48.5 points, which is really high. I think most of that is going to come from the Chiefs, but if we see Commanders playing from behind game script, I think Debo can definitely get there. I think Terry can get there as well. So don't feel great about that, Mando. I would say I would put that at like an 80% chance he goes over that 7 points. So I hope he doesn't come through for you. I hope he doesn't come through against you, but not optimistic about that one.
Mando,
That's tough.
straight up, just put down like a straight bet on Debo. So even if you lose, you win.
Yeah, just bet on Debo. Hedge your bet. Talking about the New England pass catchers, I think it's kind of similar to my take on this that's been the last couple weeks. I don't feel great about starting any of them. I think the only really startable piece on this offense right now is Drake May and maybe Ramondre. But even Ramondre doesn't feel great with how inefficient he was against a good defense like this. Diggs, oh my God. So this is a side tangent, but we faded Dig. There was like a pick and a price picks pick that was like Jerry Judy / Stephon Diggs anytime touchdown. And we took the under on that.
What?
And
I didn't know.
yeah. I took the under on that, sent that to the Discord. I kid you not, dude. The Patriots were in the red zone and they schemed up 3 straight plays to get Diggs a touchdown. Like the first play, they call a slant like with a rub route, and he catches it and gets tackled at the 1. And he's like clearly pissed. Like he hasn't scored this year. Clearly they were like trying to get him in the end zone. They line back up again, run the exact same play again right to him, and he gets in the end zone. And it's like, dude, are you kidding me? It's like the type of thing that only happens when you fade a player. But yeah, that was annoying.
Or Rachaad White on the goal line not getting it 3 times in a row while we're sweating out to.
Oh my God.
That was actually so bad.
Yeah, same sort of thing. But yeah, the Diggs one was crazy because it was like hadn't scored all year, and then they literally like made such a big effort to get him in the end zone there, which kind of saved his day for fantasy. If you start him, like you definitely could have done worse. But with these New England pass catchers, I'm really not starting any week to week unless you're desperate for a flex and you just got to hope the touchdowns go to him that week. I think Kayshon Boutte is like a fine deep league play. I'm in a deep league where we have a bunch of starters and I've been flexing Boutte and he's been getting there. So I feel all right about that. But none of these guys I really want to go crazy for. New England just spreads the ball around too much. It's hard to predict where the touchdowns are going to go each week. Let's get in a different game. Oh, and Henderson, I'm holding Henderson still. We'll see if a good game like that will make him trend up in the offense. Let's talk about this one. Bummer here to see Cam Scatterbo go down, likely season-ending injury. Snapped his ankle, didn't look great. Really tough to see that one for Cam Scatterbo. Really tough to see that one just for the Giants overall. Where are we at on Tyrone Tracy rest of the season now?
Probably 1 tier below where we had Scat. I mean, he was like a C tier, high end RB, mid end to high end RB2 last year.
Yeah. I think Tracy's definitely the priority waiver pickup this week for me. If he's sitting there on waivers, like you got to go get him.
He's kind of just a Walmart Scatabo, honestly. Like they basically do the same thing. He's just a little less efficient on the ground.
He'll catch passes too, which is nice. But this New York offense, man, is now just super depleted. Like first they lost Neighbors, now they lost Scat. Now literally all they have is Tyrone Tracy and Wandale and Darius Slayton.
You got a QB that barely completes 50% of passes. Like,
yeah.
God, I hate Jackson Dart, bro. I don't know how he gets there in fantasy every week. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just like, I don't think it's good real life QB play. And I think Giants fans are just like enamored with just young, new guy. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Talking about the other side of things, are we picking up Tank Bigsby?
I mean, I think it's like a fine, like waiver wire, like your second option this week. Saquon said he would have gone back in if the game was closer, so at least we know he's not hurt. But the Eagles did trade for Tank Bigsby at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So you could see like a like 70, 75, 25 split. Like maybe they're just trying to ease some of the workload off of Saquon, let him last the entire season for the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised. In terms of passing, I think Dallas Goedert is kind of a steal at tight end right now. Like he's just getting you there every week, it feels like.
For sure. With the Tank Bigsby stuff, I think I'm picking him up in deeper leagues. He's kind of just now moved into that echelon of handcuffs that I'm stashing. I think it kind of showed this game that, yeah, he is the true backup to Saquon. He looked good out there. I don't think you're going to have any sort of standalone value here minus a Saquon injury with Tank Bigsby. So for that reason, I'm not getting too crazy. Eagles do have their bye week this week too, so that'll give another week for Saquon to get healthy. But I think we can stash Tank in deeper leagues, but don't get too crazy. For the receiving side, good to see Smitty have a good game with no A.J. Brown, 9 targets, 6 for 84. Doesn't get in the end zone, but looks good. Still gets there for fantasy. Jahan Dotson catches a deep bomb. And then Goddard, like you said, 2 touchdowns on 3 receptions, just doing Dallas Goedert stuff in 2025. That's all I have for this game. Nothing too crazy. Saquon finally has a great game. Called it all week. Just saying. We knew this was going to be the get right spot for Saquon, so good to see that. Yeah, that's about it for this game.
Bills, Panthers. That was a little surprising.
Bad. So I pat myself on the back for that Saquon read. And here I got to be on the other side of things because we were really low on this matchup for James Cook. Because we thought the Panthers could stop the run, but holy shit, I guess they can't. James Cook goes for 19 carries, 215 yards on the ground. This game's a blowout. Otherwise, he literally might have broken the single game rushing record because I think he had 200 yards in like the third quarter. At least that's what it felt like, which was just unbelievable stuff. Of course, I was playing against him in my eliminator draft, which that just buried me. Yeah, nothing really for fantasy major to take away. On the Bills side of things, just an awesome game for James Cook.
Is Keon Coleman droppable?
Yes. Yeah. I think Coleman's been
the only takeaway I have from this game is just Keon Coleman, man. Like, when are you gonna pop? Like, what are we waiting for at this point? It's kind of just like I'm ready to label him a bust at the end of the season. Like, you guys already saw how short of a fuse I had with BTJ.
For sure.
It's like you're competing against Khalil Shakir for targets, man.
Yeah. I guess Kincaid, that may be another takeaway. We have been kind of steering some caution around Dalton Kincaid and what his week-to-week floor is. He had been running really touchdown hot at the start of the season, and we see the floor game here. He goes 1 for 23, which if you're starting him, it feels pretty bad. Only 3 points there. So that's kind of been the concern we've had with Kincaid, right? He hasn't been playing full snap load for a tight end. Like, he's been running touchdown hot. Didn't get there for fantasy today. Any thoughts on Kincaid?
I basically agree with you. It's just low floor kind of guy, touchdown dependent. I wish he had more of a volume, but he's just not on the field enough for it because he's not good at blocking.
Yeah.
Panthers, real quick. Tet, in my opinion, is just looking like a more premium Olave. But I mean, I don't even want to say more premium. I have him and Olave like in the same tier in my head. They just get a bunch of targets on a bad team. I mean, you get 10 targets, 7 receptions, 100 yards, right? Jalen Coker. You know we love Jalen Coker around here. 4 targets, receiver 2 on the day. Love to see it. He's getting back in form. Definitely would love to go pick up Jalen Coker if you can. And that's with Andy Dalton playing too. Like, I think that Jalen Coker, Leggett are like receiver 2 AB. Like, I feel like they both kind of had the same role in this offense. Jalen Coker's just shown more success in that role.
Yeah.
Rico Dowdle, Hubbard out carries Dowdle, but it's just less efficient. I mean, I don't know how long they're going to let this go on. I know they want to show their loyalty with Hubbard, team captain, big contract. He does all the extra stuff in practice, right? But one of your players is just outright better. So I'll be really interested to see how this backfield plays out.
Yeah, I think I definitely feel better with Rico than I do Hubbard rest of the season.
How are you ranking both of them right now? I'm kind of feeling like high end running back 3, low end RB2 for both of them until like this gets sorted out.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I am. I think I have Tyrone Tracy ahead of both of them rest of the season.
Unless the role becomes more defined.
Yeah, we can go through tiers maybe later in the week, but I think they're matchup dependent flex running back 2 options, right? Yeah, I think we got to lower them a bit after the showing, but I will say they both have really good hypothetical value if one of the other is to go down. I think if Hubbard goes down, Dowdle's going to smash, vice versa.
Dowdle to Chiefs would feed families, honestly. I don't know where Anthony just went, but I'll take over, guys. I think, honestly, if either of them get taken down or one of them gets injured, that's going to really boost the other one. Like, Chuba smashed last year. Rico smashed without Chuba. I mean, dude, Rico to the Chiefs would actually be an ideal trade. Like, genuinely, if I was an owner, I would do that right now.
Rico to the Chiefs?
They have no running back. He's on a 1-year cheap deal, needs to get re-signed. The Chiefs wouldn't have to draft a running back. They need a power back. Pacheco stinks. Kareem Hunt stinks. Rashard Smith is just younger Pacheco. Like,
I got to say it with Pacheco, man. I think he is – I still don't feel great about playing him in fantasy right now. But he's looked way better the last 2 games than he did in the beginning of the season. Like, he just looks like he's getting healthier. I bet his anytime touchdown today. Sent that to the Discord. I think he can have a good game tonight against the Commanders. Rashard Smith looks good. I just don't think they're going to trade for a running back. I think they feel pretty good about what they have in-house with Pacheco and Smith. I think they just kind of ride it out end of the year, maybe draft another guy next year. But it would be fun seeing Rico go there. Let's get to another game. Let's talk about this Bears-Ravens one. Another wild one. We talked all week about loving this Ravens matchup with Lamar. This was the get-back spot. Then Lamar gets ruled out on Saturday, and we panic, switch our pick to the Bears. I guess we just should have stayed the course and trusted good old Snoop Huntley.
No one saw that coming, Brett.
Hey, Vegas did. We did say, why are the Ravens still favored to win this game? Vegas had it right. Sometimes you just got to trust the odds. Caleb, stat sheet doesn't look too bad, but if you were just watching this game, so many missed throws from Caleb.
9 sacks too on this, or is that wrong?
That's 1 sack for 9 yards, only
Okay.
1 sack. But we know this Ravens pass rush isn't anything great, and seeing him struggle against this defense was definitely concerning. We do know that the Ravens have gotten healthier, so this isn't the same defense that was allowing the Texans to drop 40 points on them. This is a healthier version of that defense. You got Roquan back, you got Kyle Hamilton back, you got Marlon Humphrey back. But they still they took care of business. Caleb Williams struggled. Odunze bounces back in a big way, 10 targets, 7 and 114. We were starting to not panic on Odunze, but we were just a little concerned with the last 2 weeks. So really good to see this bounce back spot for him. DJ Moore saves his day with a 42-yard catch in garbage time. Still don't want to be starting him. Swift out carries and out efficienting Kyle Monangai still, but notable, Monangai played 45% of snaps.
Ben Johnson has a history of not liking DeAndre Swift. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know why this can't be a David Montgomery Gibbs sort of split on a way worse offense, right? So I think that's definitely something we got to take note of. I'm not opposed to selling high on Swift.
I like selling high on Swift. I like picking up Kyle Monaghan this week, especially over the Ollie Gordon stuff. Maybe I might like Monaghan over Ollie Gordon if he's still on your waivers. I know there was a lot of Monaghan hype last week.
Yeah. Loveland, once again, still not getting there for fantasy, but 3 for 38 isn't awful. Plays, I think, a career high 85% of snaps, which you love to see for Loveland. I don't know if I see it this season for Loveland, but I'm still not out on the profile overall. I think I'm going to be taking a lot of him in underdog next year. I think I'll be taking swings at him on Dynasty next year. I think he's someone I still believe in the talent. I just don't know if this is going to be the year that it comes to fruition for him. But I still feel okay about him. Encouraging to see the snaps trend up with no Cole Kmet. Let's get to the Ravens side of things. Derrick Henry, just doing Derrick Henry stuff. 21 carries, not uber efficient, but does get in the end zone twice.
The king has returned.
Yeah, I think we were sharp to this. We were on it a couple weeks ago saying that we like this rest of season schedule for Derrick Henry. We like how this offense can look with Lamar back, and even without Lamar back in this one, we see him get there for fantasy. Another sneaky narrative that I wanted to point out with this Ravens offense is Patrick Ricard was back, which you guys may thinking oh, it's a fullback. How much does that really matter?
Nah, he a dog, bro. He a Hall of Famer.
He's a Pro Bowl fullback, and if you look at Derrick Henry's game splits, with and without Patrick Ricard, it's kind of nuts when you just look at box score watching, look at the games with him and games without him. So I think that's something we need to take more of a note of. The Ravens do like to run a lot of heavy sets with the fullback. That's kind of how you got to use Derrick Henry, right? With Derrick Henry, there's not much of a threat to the pass. So I think Patrick Ricard getting back definitely is going to help him moving forward. And I think Lamar getting back is even going to help him even more so, just making the offense a lot better. Zay Flowers with the 7 and 63 performance. Definitely encouraging to see from Zay. I do have to say it is frustrating that this is the final box score when I think he had 5 for 50 just in the first halfway through the second quarter. It seemed like he was just going to smash in this one, go for 10 for 100. But he didn't do anything the rest of the game after that start. Where are we at on Zay rest of the season?
I like him. I think he's just a volume hog, and I like to target volume hogs because when you're out there doing that much cardio, you're bound to hit. I think on my rankings, I had him tiered with AJ Brown and Tet and all of them, but I would move him up to C where I had Olave, Sutton, Pickens. Yeah, honestly, I would. I would move him up to Pittman, Olave, Sutton, Pickens, DK because this is without Lamar. This is without their run game really up there. Also, side note, because you brought up the Ricard stuff, you know who played a season low in snaps? Kyle Juszczyk last night. Oh my God, that's actually kind of funny, bro. Fullbacks, bro.
Interesting.
Don't sleep on them.
They matter. The fullbacks matter. But yeah, I'm with you on the Zay stuff. I think we got to move up Zay. Still don't feel great about starting Andrews. Likely's pretty much been a non-factor since he's come back. I'm excited to see what this offense looks like once they get Lamar back. I think
I
they're
think
on
it's the
bye.
Zay Henry Lamar show and the Ravens.
Or no, they just came off bye. They play Thursday night against the Dolphins, which I think they're going to smash the Dolphins this Thursday. Lamar should be back. Don't want to confirm that because I thought he was going to be back this week and the practice report changed on Saturday. It's just awesome to see. Thank you for that one, Ravens. Let's get into the next game. We're flying through these. Make sure for everyone who's in here, fire off any questions you guys have. Leave a like on the stream. Drop a sub to the channel. Appreciate y'all being in here. Yeah, we got Niners Texans next, and I got this one right. We picked the Texans. We thought the pass rush would get to the Niners. I didn't think that CMC would have this bad of a fantasy performance, though, I got to say. As someone who was not drafting CMC and like DFS stuff this week, only 11 touches for CMC feels kind of absurd.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just one of those matchups, I think. Like, they barely even touched the ball for the Niners. Like, I remember watching the game, bro. I think they touched the ball like 4 times in the first quarter. Like, I think
Yeah.
they were in like maybe 4 plays in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So I think this was just like good game script for the Texans. Honestly, feel like there's no takeaways for the Niners. You can maybe just say Kendrick Bourne back down to earth behind Jawan Jennings. I think
Kittle
that's
back,
like
maybe.
yeah, Kittle back. I mean, he's doing his thing, 5 targets. I think you can expect that to continue against the Tud. That's what Kittle always does. So I think you can safely put Kittle back in your lineup and not have to be worried about any lingering injuries. I really feel like all the takeaways are on the Texans side. I mean, you see CJ Stroud finally play a great game. It's against like one of the most beat up teams in the league, but still plays a great game. Running backs, Woody and Nick Chubb. Let's start there. 11 to 17 carries. What do we make of that?
Yeah, so Chubb outtouched Woody in this one. But Woody still gets 4 for 49 through the air as well. And if you were just watching this game, like Marks looked really good. Like he looked explosive. He was popping on the screen. Chubb outtouched him, but I would not. It seemed like in crunch time, like as the game was when they needed it, it seemed like Marks was the one who was in the game. It seems like they're just trusting Marks more and more. And I don't think Chubbs is going to be like completely eliminated from this offense, but I don't see why Marks can't make this like a 60-40 split in his favor, and he's going to be the one getting all the receiving work. So I think in fantasy, you got to move up Marks a bit. I think he's in that kind of low end wide running back 2 conversation still. Let me ask you this, Josh. Woody Marks or Tyrone Tracy rest of the season?
Tyrone.
Woody Marks or Rico Dowdle?
Unless something changes with Rico, give me Woody.
Me too. Woody or Jaylen Warren?
Jaylen Warren.
Okay.
I think he's probably tiered with those guys, though. I think those aren't like easy questions, but I just think the efficiency and the actual having most of the workload is there for the other guys. And we're just not there yet with Woody. But I like him better than Chubb right now. I'll put it that way.
Sure. Yeah, I think those names are kind of where we need to be thinking about Woody rest of the season. I will say with this Texans team, this is going to sound really simple, but it kind of has been this simple with them. When they're playing a team with a good pass rush, their offense is going to struggle. When they're playing a team with a bad pass rush, they're going to be able to move the ball. And we've seen this. They did this against the beat-up Ravens and just now against the Niners. The Niners are down Bosa, obviously. They also are out without Bryce Huff, who's their next best pass rusher.
Fred Warner gone.
Fred Warner's gone over the middle. The Niners were just able to get no pass rush on Stroud. They were sending blitzes and still couldn't get home. And we know this Texans O-line is awful, but them playing battle line. I did see too they were playing a lot more 6 lineman sets, which that seemed to be a factor that helped them as well. But that's just kind of how I'm approaching the Texans moving forward. I really need to dive into like defensive line metrics each week when we're thinking about their matchup, because if Stroud has time, we know Stroud can ball. We saw it his rookie year. And I think I'm still not out on CJ Stroud as a talent, but oh my God, the Texans O-line is just awful. Good to see him get there though. Jalen Noel, 5 for 63, looks good doing it. Xavier Hutchinson outperforms Higgins, but Higgins does score the tud. Good to see the rookies get involved.
Weird snap split though. Jalen Noel only gets 28 snaps, and he's targeted on how many of those? 6. I think that's like a very surprising stat. I just felt like he was on the field longer. Jaden Higgins gets a big bump in his snap share. He has the most on field, and then second is Xavier Hutchinson with 53. So, in terms of takeaway, I think you can just say like Jaden Higgins just slotted himself into the Nico Collins role. Xavier Hutchinson just has this. I don't even know what like my takeaway of Xavier Hutchinson is. Like he's probably a fine waiver wire pickup. I could see his job getting taken by Jaden Higgins though once Nico Collins comes back. I don't know if that's going to be this season. I haven't really been following that injury.
Yeah, Nico should be back soon. It's just a concussion, so should be back pretty soon. But let's get to another game. This one I don't really have any major fantasy takeaways. Just kind of a blowout from the get-go. Baker has a pretty pedestrian day, but it doesn't really matter just because this game's in control. Tez Johnson, 5 for 43, which is kind of what we would hope for picking up Tez Johnson this week. I'm still hanging on to him. Egbuka, only 3 for 35. Did have a touchdown go off his hands that we usually see him kind of complete that play. So this day definitely could have been a lot better for him. Still had 9 targets. Don't think I'm really getting crazy about Egbuka and lowering him in my ranks or anything. Maybe if he has one more like floor performance again, then I might have to adjust. But I think I'm kind of keeping all these Bucks offensive pieces around the same. Alton has a pretty solid day, gets tackled at the goal line. Otherwise, it would have been an even better day. Saints side of things, they finally move on from Rattler.
Unfounded, honestly. I'll tackle the Saints, bro. My Saints, my secret favorite team.
All right, yeah, you
like,
talk about the Saints, then I'll give my
completely unfounded for them to bench like Rattler. Like, yeah, he turned over the ball 2 times, bro. Tyler Shuck, like he played worse. He played worse than Rattler, and I don't understand the switch mid game, third quarter. You hear the announce. If you guys were watching the Saints broadcast, like the announcers were not happy about it towards the end of the game. It was kind of funny to hear them talk about it. But I didn't get the decision. I think big takeaway is like Olave's him like 12 targets. I think they probably will move on from Shaheed though. I mean, I felt like this was almost like a showcase of Rashid Shaheed before they trade him away. I think that we don't need to be worried about Taysom Hill taking away Jawan Johnson's role. I mean, the passing volume's there for the Saints. The team just stinks. And that's really unfortunate because you have players like Olave and Shaheed who should be getting treated like Tet McMillan and, Leggett Dash Coker, but they're just not because they're on the Saints. But I don't think the Saints play like a 1-6 team or whatever the hell they are now. Only startable players are Shaheed and Olave and Jawan Johnson. I'm not really a fan of the backfield right now. I think you're muted, yeah, if you're saying stuff.
My bad. Thank you. Yeah, Kamara doesn't feel great if you're starting him. We've been shouting all season, but the receiving volume is just way down from years past with Kamara, and that's kind of been what's given him a floor. But we know he's not the most efficient guy on the ground, so when he's not getting there through the air, like, what are we really expecting from Alvin? I agreed that the QB shift did feel a little premature. Doing it mid-game. I feel like they should have let Rattler kind of ride it out. And then if he turns the ball over another time, maybe they start rolling show into Shah into next game, giving him a full week to prepare as a starter. I just don't think it's the smartest process to throw your rookie QB into the fire, especially when Rattler had been playing like relatively well up until this point. I do think the turnovers is the big thing. I know, Yash, you said only 2 turnovers, but turning the ball over has been what has plagued Rattler throughout his college career and now into the NFL. And he's done a relatively good job of that this season, but I think the Saints coaching staff isn't. They showed us they have no patience if he's going to turn the ball over.
That pick really wasn't even his fault, bro. Like a lineman literally just went up there, snagged it. Oh my god! If you guys saw that pick six, man, that oh my god, I wouldn't have got. I honestly would have gotten up if I was Rattler, bro. I would have been fine getting benched, dude. You just got stiff. Oh my god, it was so bad.
Yeah, that one had me crashing out too because I was playing you with the Bucks defense. That's it for the Saints, Bucks. We're gonna fire through these last 3. We're running low on time.
I'm gonna have to go in like 5 minutes, guys.
But Cowboys, Broncos, you're starting everybody against the Cowboys. You're still starting Javonte. You're starting Pickens and Lamb. Neither of them score, but they still have decent fantasy days. Jake Ferguson, goose egg, which I'm scared about Jake Ferguson rest of the season. We had a feeling that when Lamb comes back, he would be the one
I
taking
didn't think
the
it was
biggest
gonna
hit.
be this bad, bro.
Yeah, I don't think 0 reception games are gonna happen too often. Broncos defense is really tough.
I don't think he's gonna be getting 2 touchdowns a game anymore, though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like his touchdown upside is definitely regressed, if you will.
Yeah. Other than that, no real takeaways from the Dallas side. Dak Prescott has a bad game, but nothing to be too worried about. Tough matchup. On the Broncos side of things, Bo Nix plays well. 4 touchdowns. Should have been a 5th. That bounced off Cortland Sutton's hands. Troy Franklin has a great day. 6 for 89, 2 tugs on 8 targets. Pat Bryant scores.
Dropped a touchdown.
RJ Harvey scores twice. Where are we at on RJ Harvey? Is he going to be startable at any point for the rest of the season, or do you think this is kind of just a fluky game?
I think he's stuck behind Dobbins. I see no reason for them to like split it more than a 70-30 with Dobbins and Harvey. You have a guy on a 1-year contract. You got a rookie who's playing good as a change of pace back. I mean, look at Dobbins, bro. 15 carries, 111 yards. Like, he's playing great football, and it just sucks that the Broncos took a 2nd-round running back. Is how I'm looking at it. Like, he'll probably get moved on from the Broncos after this season, probably enter free agency or whatever. But rest of the season, I feel like RJ Harvey's almost trapped in like a Travion Henderson situation.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that. I view them pretty similarly. I'm still stashing him because he is a premium handcuff. If there's anything that does happen to Dobbins, Harvey will smash the rest of the season. Definitely encouraging though to see him flash. For those that are big on Harvey, like I'm still in on him for Dynasty. Just don't know if I see it rest of the season. And I wanted to shout this: if you're listening to the broadcast, Bo Nix, where they were the commentators were talking about their interviews with Bo Nix this week, and when RJ Harvey scored, they said, "Yeah, Bo Nix was saying throughout the weeks that he thinks RJ Harvey's going to be a superstar in this league." So encouraging to hear that being said from his quarterback. And we know the talents there with Harvey. He was a 2nd-round pick. He was great in college. I just don't know if I see it this year, minus an injury to JK. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on this.
Texans, Colts.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any big
Titans,
takeaways.
Colts.
Colts are a Super Bowl team. That's how I see it.
Colts
They're
just look
real contender.
Their offense is amazing. Jonathan Taylor, 12 carries, 153, 2 touchdowns. Just buried me in fantasy in some spots. Michael Pittman, 8 for 95. No one really, I guess Tyler Warren, 4 for 53, Downs, 3 for 39, a touchdown. You're starting all your Colts. You're not starting any Titans. Tajay Spears looked good. He looked better than Pollard.
I think DK might be a really sharp ad if you were high on Io Minor this season. I think he's emerging as the better of the two, especially with the new coach. I like buying into DK. He's 7 receptions, 8 targets. Cam Ward has to throw it to someone. He drops back like 40 times a game, and that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah. Nothing too crazy to take away from that game. Kind of to be expected. Bell to ass from the Colts. Packers Steelers. This one was a fun one. Love has a great game. Jacobs does nothing. Chris Boswell's the GOAT.
Emmanuel Wilson, 11 carries.
Yeah. I don't know how much to take away from that. I need to look more into the splits. Full disclosure, I wasn't watching this game live. I watched it afterwards, but
I watched the first half and then turned it off when the Steelers were really up, and then they somehow sold.
Yeah. Tucker Kraft, 7 for 143 and 2. Shout out
Roman
Tucker
Wilson.
Kraft. Balls out. Roman Wilson, 4 for 74 and a tug.
Finally does something.
DK Metcalf. Man, Dale's the biggest DK hater, but he keeps scoring those touchdowns. You gotta
That's
keep
what I'm trying to say, bro. He gets there.
Like, it doesn't matter how you do it if you're still getting there every week. We know this offense is going to keep running through DK. Warren doesn't do too much, but tough matchup against the Packers. I don't think I'm really adjusting anyone in fantasy rankings. Maybe moving Kraft up a little bit after this ceiling game. Maybe moving Golden down a little bit. Not super encouraging to see this low of a performance, or this low of a ceiling, this low of a floor from him, I should say. Still bullish on him on Dynasty, though. Packers do just like to spread the ball around. Christian Watson, 4 for 85.
I do have to go right now. Huh?
Okay.
Yeah, guys, I have a job interview. I have to get employed. Sorry.
All right. Good luck, Josh.
See ya.
Later, dude. I'm about to get out of here as well, too. But before I do want to talk about this Commanders-Chiefs game real quick. I think the Chiefs win in this spot. Spread has 10.5 point spread to Kansas City. I think that's pretty accurate with where I would stand on this game. I'm firing up all my Chiefs. I do like Isaiah Pacheco as anytime touchdown dart. I think I posted him in the Discord for about plus 200 odds. That feels pretty good for Pacheco. I don't feel great about Bill in this matchup. I think he might struggle on the ground against this pretty stout Chiefs run defense. I don't mind looking at a Jacory Krosky-Merritt under rush yards play. That's kind of all I really have to take away. I think we could see a decent game from the Washington pass catchers. I think Debo could have a solid game in this game script playing from behind. But other than that, nothing too major to take away from this spot. I think the Chiefs win. I think they win relatively easily with no Jaden on the other side. In Arrowhead, all the Chiefs back and healthy. I think they take care of business in this one. Think that's going to wrap up everything we got for the stream today. Pretty chill one. Just talking through the week 8 slate takeaways. Stay tuned for some more live streams throughout the week. Probably going to either do a rankings update or something of that sort. Fire up some underdog dailies for the coming week and just talk through the upcoming week 9 slates. Thanks for everyone who tuned in. We'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure to drop a like, drop a sub, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.